He said he was a police officer. He said she was his first wife. Both were lies. And Misba paid for believing him with her life. Misba was 18 years old. She had 5 brothers, no father, and a mother who had spent years holding everything together on her own. They were not a wealthy family. They were not a powerful family. But they were a family that loved each other, and in that house, Misba was the only daughter. The only girl among 5 brothers. The one everyone protected. Or at least they thought they did. Misba met Shahryar the way young people meet, casually, unexpectedly, in the middle of ordinary life. He was from a nearby area of Karachi. He was confident, well-spoken, and charming in the way that makes you feel like the most important person in the room. He told her he was a police officer. He had his own apartment. A steady income. A future already built and waiting. He told her exactly what she needed to hear. For 8 months they met in secret. Misba would tell her mother she was going to a friend's house and then slip away to be with Shahryar. She believed every word he said. She trusted him completely, the kind of trust that only exists when you are young and in love for the first time and have no reason yet to doubt anyone. 8 months. Not 8 days. Not 8 weeks. 8 full months of lies, and Misba never suspected a single one. When they decided to get married, Misba went home and told her mother everything. A police officer, she said. Stable job. His own place. A good man. A good future. Her mother's answer was immediate. Absolutely not. She said she wanted nothing to do with police families. That their friendships were dangerous and their enmities were worse. Her brothers stood with their mother. The entire family said no. Misba tried everything. She told them not everyone was the same. That Shahryar was different. That they didn't know him the way she did. Nobody listened. She called Shahryar and told him the family had refused. He told her to leave the house at night. They would go to court and do it themselves. No family needed. Just the 2 of them. In February, in the middle of the night, Misba quietly walked out of her home for the last time as the girl her family had raised. Shahryar was waiting outside. They drove together through the dark streets of Karachi, and first thing in the morning they stood before a court and signed their marriage into existence. Then Shahryar brought her straight to her mother's door. He stood there, the man her family had rejected, and introduced himself as their son-in-law. The family could have met him with anger. Instead they showed a grace that was extraordinary. What was done was done. They embraced Misba. They accepted Shahryar. Not a single word of blame. Misba moved into his rented apartment. And for 2 months she was genuinely, completely happy. She had chosen this man against everyone's wishes, and he was proving them all wrong. The life he had promised her felt real. She was certain she had made the right decision. She had never been more wrong about anything in her life. 2 months into the marriage, Shahryar sat her down and told her to call her mother and ask for a large sum of money. Misba stared at him. She explained carefully that her mother was a widow. That her brothers struggled. That the family barely managed their own expenses. There was no extra money. There had never been extra money. Shahryar's response was cold and calculated. He told her that if the family had arranged a proper wedding, they would have spent money anyway. Since there was no wedding, they had saved that money. So they could send it to him now. Simple. Misba felt something shift inside her. She told him she had never seen this side of him. That she had fallen in love with him because she believed he was a good person. That she had no idea this is who he really was. That was the moment he hit her for the first time. She called her mother through tears and told her everything, the demand, the beating. Her mother immediately called Shahryar herself. She told him to be ashamed. That this was a new marriage. That she had not expected this from him. His response to his own mother-in-law was chilling. He told her he was a police officer. He told her he could have all 5 of her sons arrested and their lives destroyed before she even knew what was happening. Send the money, he said. If you want your sons to stay safe. Misba's mother hung up the phone. She called Misba back and said, "Didn't I warn you? I told you not to get involved with police. I told you their enmities were dangerous. I am not going to get my sons killed because of your choices." And she ended the call. Days passed. Then came another phone call from Misba. This time what she told her mother was not just about beatings and money. This time Misba told her mother the truth she had slowly uncovered about the man she had married. He was not a police officer. There was no real uniform, no station, no colleagues. Just a few photos on his phone. He never went to any job. He stayed home all day, went out briefly at night, and came back with cash. Cash that came from somewhere nobody talked about. And then the worst of it. He had told Misba she was his first wife. She was his fourth. This was a pattern. He found women. He told them what they needed to hear. He married them. He trapped them. He beat them. He drained whatever he could from them and their families. And then he discarded them and moved on to the next one. Misba had been chosen the same way all the others had been chosen. She had just never known it. On the night of June 6, Shahryar made his final demand. He told Misba this was the last time he was asking. If the money did not come this time, she would not forget what followed. He said her mother clearly had enough to raise 6 children and run a house. The only reason she was refusing was pure stubbornness. Misba told him to speak about her mother with respect. He picked up a screwdriver that was lying nearby. What happened in that apartment in the next few minutes was savage. He beat her with it over and over, her head, her body, until she was completely covered in blood. Then he dragged her to the front door and threw her out into the street like she was nothing. Misba stumbled. She fell. She lost consciousness on the pavement near a roadside stall and lay there through the night, alone, bleeding, in the dark. When morning came, a man who ran a small chickpea stall nearby arrived and found her. He gave her water. He stayed with her until she came around enough to give him a phone number. He called her mother and told her that her daughter was lying outside in a terrible state and needed to come home. The mother told him she could not come herself. She was afraid, genuinely, deeply afraid, that if Shahryar was still nearby he might hurt whoever came for her. She asked the vendor to please put Misba in a rickshaw and send her home. When Misba arrived and her mother saw her, the blood, the wounds, the state of her daughter's face and body, she broke down completely. Misba was barely conscious. In whatever awareness she had left, she told her mother what had happened. That Shahryar had beaten her. That he had thrown her out. That she didn't even remember how long she had been lying there or what had happened in the hours before someone found her. And then Misba went quiet. The family rushed her to a small nearby hospital. Doctors treated her wounds as best they could. The brothers made a decision together. This could not go unanswered. They went to the nearest police station and told them everything. The officers listened and then told them this case fell under a different jurisdiction. Go to Malir police station, they said. They will handle it there. It was late. The family decided they would go first thing in the morning and file the case properly. They went home. They put Misba to bed. They slept. The next morning her mother called out to her. Time to wake up. Take your medicine. Have breakfast. Misba got up. She told her mother she was going to the bathroom to wash up and would be right out. The mother waited. And waited. After a long silence she knocked on the door. No answer. She knocked again. Still nothing. She opened the door. Misba was on the floor. No movement. No breath. No heartbeat. The room that had been quiet became chaos. Emergency services arrived. A full team examined her. And then they delivered the news that no mother should ever have to receive. Misba was gone. She was 18 years old. She had been married for exactly 4 months. The police came and assessed the scene. They asked the family if they wanted a post-mortem conducted so a formal case could be filed against Shahryar. The mother said no. She said she only wanted to bury her daughter. No post-mortem. No case. No more. The police documented that the family did not wish to pursue legal action and closed the file. No post-mortem. No FIR. No charges. No justice. And then, while this family was still in the deepest grief of their lives, Shahryar started calling. He told the brothers that their sister had left his house alive and perfectly fine. He said they must have killed her themselves. He told the eldest brother Usman that he was coming for all 5 brothers and their mother. That all 6 of them were finished. That the story was over for this family. Usman spoke to the media. He said Shahryar was threatening them daily, turning everything around, blaming the family for the death of the woman he had beaten and thrown into the street, keeping them too terrified to speak or act. And it was working. A widowed mother, 5 brothers, 1 sister they had failed to protect. And the man responsible was still free, still threatening, still completely untouched by anything resembling justice. Shahryar was out there. And somewhere, almost certainly, there was already another woman who had no idea what she was about to walk into. Here are some lessons from the darkness. Shahryar lied about his job. He lied about his past. He lied about everything before the first word of love was ever spoken. And Misba had no way to verify any of it because she trusted blindly. The first lesson is this: love is not enough reason to skip the truth. Before you commit your life to someone, verify who they actually are. Not who they tell you they are. Who they actually are. The second lesson is harder. The mother warned Misba. The brothers warned her. Everyone who loved her saw something she refused to see. When the people who have known you your entire life are all saying the same thing, slow down and listen. They are not your enemy. They are your protection. The third lesson costs the most to say. The family's decision not to pursue legal action, as understandable as it was, meant Shahryar walked free. He is out there right now. And the next woman he finds will have no idea what happened to Misba. Silence protects the wrong person. Speaking up, even when it is painful, even when it is frightening, is the only thing that stops it from happening again. Misba deserved better. Remember her name.